Hello everyone and welcome back to MD3. My name is Mitchell as always, and today we are talking about the newest Alexander Payne film, The Holdovers. Now I'm a huge fan of Alexander Payne's work. I really like how he blends human emotion with some comedic elements and some dramatic elements, and I think movies like The Descendants are a perfect example of showing how he truly is able to imbue an emotional complexity into his characters and plots. I'm a huge fan of his work. I think Descendants is great. I think Sideways is great. He had a little bit of a downturn with Downsizing back a few years ago, but he's back and better than ever with this film, which is a true return to form for his style.
Every year at Barton Academy, students, faculty, and staff depart the campus for a 2-week winter break. But there are always an unfortunate few who have nowhere to go for the holidays. They're known as the Holdovers.
I've been excited for this one for a while now because it has insane hype coming out of festivals. In fact, I went to the Chicago International Film Festival a few weeks ago, and I tried to see this film there and I couldn't. But luckily there was a screening today that I was able to attend, and I was so excited to go because I'm a huge fan of not only just Alexander Payne, but I also like Paul Giamatti. I think he's a very charismatic and likable actor, and I think he's very funny when he needs to be. I think he's very dramatic when he needs to be. I just think he has such a good range. I think he's a great actor. This film right off the bat is a true Christmas movie right from the very start. It has a very snowy setting, has Christmas type music playing all throughout the background of the film. In fact, the film opens with a choral arrangement of a Christmas song, so how can you not get into the Christmas spirit after hearing that? Also, winter break is when this film takes place, so of course it has the holidays of Christmas and New Year's that it kind of comprises of. And right from the start, we are introduced to a very charismatic character in Angus, played brilliantly by newcomer Dominic Sessa. He puts a lot of sass and attitude into his performance as this character, which is very needed because the character Angus himself is a very angsty teenager. He's going through a lot. He has a lot of dramatic elements about him, but also Dominic plays this character with a lot of heart and understanding into his character, so that by the end of the film, you might start out thinking, oh, this character is so distant, I can't really empathize with him. But at the end of the film, you will empathize with them in a very strange way that you weren't kind of expecting going into this film. Paul Giamatti is a genius here as he plays the stern professor Paul Hunham, who kind of rules over the students at Barton Academy with a firm and determined hand. He's very menacing at first. You kind of get the vibe that this is a character that people shouldn't mess with. But throughout the film, his authentic performance really leads to a softer, more vulnerable side of his character that I wasn't expecting. There's a lot of emotional complexity to his role here that I didn't really expect going in, as I mentioned. I think that he plays it with such a kind of nuance that it's very, very charming to see that kind of switch in his character. Divine Joy Randolph is transcendent as the school's cook Mary. Like all the other characters in this film, she has a deep emotional complexity about her and is going through a lot of grief as well. And that's what I love so much about this film. All these characters dealing with their own griefs and troubles and problems all find solace in one another. It's a beautiful message. It's a very heartfelt and beautiful story about life and grief, and it's told expertly through Payne's script and style. As I mentioned before, The Descendants is another one of his films that I've seen that really kind of explored a deep emotional hook in a way that felt fresh and new and invigorating, and this does remind me of The Descendants in its handling of that subject matter. I think it's a very heartfelt and emotional film, and it really just kind of got to me in a way that I didn't expect going in, as I mentioned. I think it's very surprising in the way that it kind of reveals its emotional layers throughout. Speaking of Payne's style, this film has visuals that are incredible. The film looks and feels like a film that would have actually released back in the 70s. The cinematography and shots are very grainy and vintage. You can see the different film flicker and all that. The audio is also very muffled and crackling, and it feels like it was recorded on ancient microphones. All in all, it makes for a truly immersive viewing experience, and it looks and feels like a film that's actually from an older time period than it is, which is very surprising. Like, I was watching this film and I never for a second said, oh, this looks like a 2023 release. No, it literally looks like something that would release in the 70s. It's very, very cool to see. I truly think that this is my favorite film of 2023. It was a soft, cozy film about human connection and emotion, and it really got to me. And what makes this film stand apart from other 2023 releases is its impact. I think this is going to have a lasting impact on audiences. Now, don't get me wrong that the other films that released this year are very, very good. I think Killers of the Flower Moon is a great film. I think Oppenheimer is a great film. But there's a discussion to be had with current releases and releases in the past few years about their impact on film as a whole, whether or not they'll hold up in years' time. For example, Everything Everywhere All at Once was the darling in the Oscars and other award shows last year. Everyone loved that film. People were saying it was one of the greatest films to release. And now that hype has kind of died down. It still has a great place in film history, and it's still a great movie, don't get me wrong, but it's not one of those films that I think will hold up over the test of time. I can confidently say that I think The Holdovers, because of its subject matter, its vintage styling, and also its incredibly human characters, will stand that test of time. I think this is a timeless film. It's very rewatchable. I probably will honestly rewatch this not only just this year again, but also in the years to come around the holiday season, because this is a fantastic, not only is it a fantastic like movie in general, it's also a very good Christmas movie. And I loved it so much. And I really think that that's why this will stand the test of time. I think this is a very rewatchable film. I think it's a very accessible film. Even if you're not a fan of Alexander Payne, I highly suggest you check this out because it's so different from anything he's ever done before. And I highly urge you to go see this film when it releases in theaters because it is a truly special thing to hold. So I will give The Holdovers a 98 out of 100. The Holdovers releases in theaters everywhere November 10th. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, please do not forget to click that subscribe button down below, like the video as always, and comment down below, and also turn on push notifications so you'll be notified whenever a new video drops. With that being said, this is Mitchell signing off. Peace out.